If you want to succeed, truly succeed big, you gotta listen up. This world belongs to those who dare to think big, dare to act, and never give up. The success mindset, the secret of champions. Listen up, folks. If you want to rise, if you want to really create something great, you have to understand that it all starts with your mindset. That's right, it's not capital, it's not degrees from those fancy universities people keep talking about. It starts right inside your head, with how you see the world and yourself. This is a simple truth that few dare to speak frankly. To succeed, you have to think like a winner. You can't just keep plodding along with small, mediocre thoughts and expect extraordinary results. That's never gonna happen. Look, history is full of mediocre people, people who just followed the crowd, listened to everyone around them, and in the end, what happened? They went nowhere. They just circled around in the safe zone of mediocrity. But the people who really made things happen, the people who built empires, the people who changed the world, they all had one thing in common: they believed in themselves, they believed in their gut instincts. Trust your gut, the decision of the strong. This is an incredibly important lesson, a lesson I learned very early on, and it has shaped everything I do. Sometimes, and I mean often, you have to follow your gut feeling. Everyone around you, even your closest loved ones, might tell you you're wrong. Your parents, your friends, the self-proclaimed experts on TV or in the news, they might scream that you're crazy. They'll give you all sorts of reasons to prove you wrong, that your idea is unrealistic, that you'll fail miserably. But you know what? You have to do it. You have to go with your gut. Listen to me, this isn't for everyone. Only a select few, a very small number of people, have the courage to do this. Because it requires immense self-confidence, an ironclad belief in yourself that ordinary people don't have. When you dare to go against the crowd, dare to trust your intuition even when the whole world is against you, that's when you show you are a true winner. And when you pull it off, when you drag it out of the mire of doubt and make it a reality, that feeling, that result, it's incredible, unbelievable. I've seen so many people go big, people who made unprecedented breakthroughs, and most of them had to go against the grain. They didn't listen to conventional advice, the safe advice that everyone gives. No. They had an idea, a vision, and they believed in it passionately. They knew that to achieve greatness, you can't follow the beaten path. The beaten path only leads to stale results. You have to create your own path. And to do that, you need incredible self-confidence. You have to be the right person for it. Not everyone can pull it off. You have to have that stuff. But when you do, and you execute, it's amazing. That's the difference between winners and losers. Losers always listen to others, always fear risk. Winners? They make their own rules. You know, I've heard so many experts tell me I shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that. They said my ideas were too big, too bold, too Trump. But what did I listen to? My intuition. I knew what was right, I knew what could succeed, and I've proven it time and time again. For example, when I decided to build Trump Tower, everyone said impossible, too tall, too expensive, doesn't fit. But I had a vision, a strong gut feeling that it would be an icon, an unprecedented great building in New York. I went against all that wise advice. And look, now it's one of the most famous buildings in the world, a symbol of success. Where did that come from? From trusting my own gut, believing in my own abilities, even when everyone else doubted. Think about the biggest decisions in your life. Weren't the best decisions made when you listened to your heart, listened to your gut, instead of outside advice? I bet they were. Because when you truly believe in something, and you dare to act on that belief, you'll find the inner strength to overcome every obstacle. That's not luck, that's self-confidence and courage. To do this, you need a steel mindset. You'll face criticism, doubt, and sometimes ridicule. Mediocre people will try to pull you down at all costs, because they can't stand to see others rise above them. They're jealous. They don't have that stuff. But you must not let those things deter you. You have to stand firm, stick to your vision, and show them how wrong they were. That's how you become a winner, a legend. So, start now. Learn to listen to your intuition. Cultivate your self-confidence. And be ready to go against the grain. Because only then will you truly unlock the door to the great success you deserve. Never doubt your instincts. That's your secret weapon. Think like a winner, the key to dominating the game. Listen up, everyone. After you've learned to trust your gut, something very few people dare to do, the next step, and this is the most crucial one, you have to think like a winner. It's not about wanting to win or hoping to win. No. You have to think as if you've already won, even before the game begins. This is what losers never understand. They constantly worry about failure, about what could go wrong, about criticism. Meanwhile, winners, they only think about one thing, winning. I've seen too many people, very smart, very talented, but they never reach their full potential. Why? Because they don't think big. They don't think like a winner. They think small, they fear risk, they fear the spotlight. And if you don't think like a winner, if you don't have that burning desire in your mind, then it's never going to happen. It's that simple. Look at the people who have really gone big in life. It's not that they're luckier than you. It's not that they were born with better brains. No. They have something different. They have what's called absolute belief in themselves. They go against the trend, against the crowd, and they do things others call crazy. But to them, it's not crazy. It's the only way to great success. You have to understand that to become a winner, you can't keep listening to the same old platitudes, the mediocre advice you hear everywhere on social media. Be humble, keep to yourself, don't be too confident. That's all garbage. If you want to build an empire, you have to have unlimited confidence. You have to believe that you are the best, that you have the best ideas, and that you will do things no one else can. That's the truth. I've always said this, for me, thinking big is always easier. That's right, you heard me correctly. Thinking big is easier. Why? Because when you think big, when you have a grand vision, you attract great things. You attract the most talented people. You attract the money and investment you need. Who wants to fund a small, mediocre project that nobody cares about? Nobody. People want to be involved in big things, things that will make a splash, things that will change the game. And I've always been able to attract money and investment more easily than anyone I've ever known, because I always think big. If you keep doing a small job somewhere, a job nobody cares about, nobody wants to fund, you'll be stuck in the cycle of mediocrity forever. You have to have ambition. You have to have an overarching vision, something so big it makes others gasp. Then, money will find you, opportunities will find you, and the most talented people will want to work with you. That's how the world works. And here's the crucial thing, you cannot succeed without passion. Listen carefully. If you don't love what you're doing, if you don't have that burning fire in your heart, then forget about it. Stop immediately. Do something else. Because if you don't have passion, you'll never truly give your all. You'll never stay up late or wake up early. You'll never overcome difficulties. And you'll never achieve great success. I've seen so many people try to pursue things they don't truly love, just for money or status. And what's the result? They not only fail at work but also lead a life full of unhappiness. They complain, they blame, and they're never truly happy. But if you find what you truly love, what you have a burning passion for, you'll work tirelessly. You'll overcome every obstacle. And you'll achieve success you can't imagine. What's more, you'll have a much happier life. This isn't just theory. This is real-world experience. I've built great things, things people said were impossible. And I did it because I'm passionate about what I do. I love to build. I love to win. And I love to see my great ideas become reality. So, ask yourself, what are you truly passionate about? If you don't know yet, go find it. Don't waste time on mediocrity. Life is too short to live blandly. Find your passion, and then, pursue it with all the strength you have. Only then will you truly think like a winner and become a real winner. Positive attitude, the conqueror's ultimate energy. Listen up. We've just talked about trusting your gut, about thinking big, about burning passion. Those are great foundations, but if you want to truly dominate, if you want to become a legend, you need one more thing, something that losers never get. It's a positive attitude. This isn't some flimsy live happy everyday slogan you see plastered all over social media. No. This is a vital source of energy, an invisible force that will propel you to the top, while others are sinking deeper into the quicksand of negativity. A positive attitude is all about confidence, and confidence, that's the whole game. If you don't have a positive attitude in business or in life, you will never, ever succeed. I'll say it again, never. It simply cannot happen. Because this life, this business, it's full of challenges. It'll throw all sorts of problems in your face. It'll try to knock you down. And if you carry a negative attitude, a mind full of doubt and fear, you will be crushed. You will fail miserably. I've seen too many smart people, truly very smart, with great ideas, but they can't handle the pressure. Why? Because they lack that unwavering positive attitude. When things start to go bad, when people start to criticize, they crumble. They lose heart. They quit. That's not the way of winners. A great entrepreneur, a true leader, must be able to withstand immense pressure. When people are against you, when the media is trashing you, when the market is going down, you have to stand firm. You have to be able to endure that pressure. And the only way to do that is through a resilient positive attitude. That's when you know who you are, you know what you're doing, and you don't let anything shake that belief. I've been through extremely tough times. Very tough. In the early 90s, there was a big article that said everything he touches turns to gold. I believed it. And you know what? I started getting distracted. I was out with models instead of working. That was a mistake. I remember a big lease deal coming due, and I was at a big event. I told my associates, "Don't worry, you guys handle this lease, it'll be fine." But when I came back, they hadn't done it. Whereas if I had been there, I would have done it 100%. And then the market crashed in the 90s. I was in big trouble. But you know what? That was a great test. An incredible test of yourself. Can you handle pressure? Are you smart under pressure? Many smart people with great ideas, everything is good, but they can't handle pressure. And if you can't handle pressure, you can't be a great entrepreneur. This is an undeniable truth. You have to be able to take every punch life throws at you, and still stand firm, still keep your head, and still move forward with an unshakable positive attitude. A positive attitude doesn't mean you're blind to reality. No. It means you see the challenges, you recognize the difficulties, but you choose to focus on the solution, on the opportunity, and on victory. It means you turn obstacles into opportunities. You turn failures into lessons. And you never allow anything, anyone, to drag you down. This is a skill you have to cultivate. It doesn't come naturally. Every day, you have to nurture it yourself. Don't read negative news. Don't listen to complaints. Surround yourself with positive people, people who also have that hunger to win like you. People who say can do, not can't. People who will lift you up, not pull you down. A positive attitude is your secret weapon in every negotiation, in every deal. It makes you formidable. It makes your opponents wary. Because they see the fire in your eyes, they feel the winning energy from you, and they know you won't back down. You're not just selling a product, you're selling belief, you're selling positive energy. And that's what people want to buy. So, look in the mirror right now. What do you see? Do you see someone about to fail, or do you see a champion waiting to prove themselves? If you don't see that champion yet, start changing your attitude today. Nurture your self-confidence. Cast aside negative thoughts. And show the world that you carry winning energy within you, an unstoppable positive attitude. Then, you will not just succeed, you will dominate. Passion is key, the unquenchable fire of greatness. Listen up, everyone. Take a deep breath. Feel that energy surging through your veins. We've talked about the champion's mindset, about trusting your instincts, and about the sharp art of negotiation. But all of that, every strategy, every skill, will become meaningless, completely meaningless, if you lack one core element, passion. Tony Robbins has always made it clear, the power of emotion can create or destroy anything. And passion, that is the ultimate emotion, the sacred fire within you, that will drive you beyond every limit you ever thought was impossible. Finding the unquenchable fire. Listen to me, because this is the naked truth that few dare to face. You cannot succeed without passion. If you don't love what you're doing, if you don't feel that fire burning in your chest every time you start a new day, then forget about it. Immediately. Stop. Don't waste another second of your precious life on something that doesn't ignite your soul. Why? Because this life, this business, it's not a bed of roses. There will be days you want to quit. There will be moments you feel exhausted, frustrated, and doubtful. There will be people who mock you, obstacles piling up like mountains. And the only thing, I repeat, the only thing that can pull you out of the abyss of quitting is a deep, intense passion for what you're trying to build, create, or serve. If you don't have that fire, you'll collapse at the first few obstacles. You'll become a victim of circumstance, instead of a creator of your own destiny. Passion isn't just a hobby, it's a deep-seated urge from the soul, a reason to live, a reason to fight. Passion turns difficulties into energy. Think about anyone who has achieved greatness. Did they do it indifferently, reluctantly? Or did they do it with a crazy obsession and unstoppable dedication? Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, the people who changed the world, do you think they worked 8 hours a day, then went home to watch TV? Never. They were obsessed with their vision, driven by an unquenchable fire. That's passion. When you have passion, challenges are no longer problems. They become opportunities to show your resilience. Failures are no longer dead ends, they are valuable lessons, stepping stones to go further. Passion turns fatigue into energy, doubt into determination, and the impossible into reality. You'll be willing to stay up late, wake up early, sacrifice personal comforts, overcome all rejections and criticisms. Why? Because you're not just working, you're living your purpose. You're creating something bigger than yourself. And that's the most powerful feeling you can experience. The power of emotional state. Tony Robbins always emphasizes emotional state. Passion is the highest emotional state you can maintain to achieve success. When you're filled with passion, you will have endless energy. You don't have to force yourself. Energy flows naturally. Have intense focus, everything else blurs. You only see your goal. Be endlessly creative. Passion unlocks parts of the brain that indifference never touches. Be able to overcome fear. Fear will be a tiny enemy when faced with the blazing fire of passion. If you don't love what you do, you'll look for excuses, you'll find reasons to quit. But when passion takes over, you'll find every way to make it work, to overcome. You'll find solutions to every problem, because the idea of quitting doesn't even exist in your dictionary. Change your life now. So how do you find that fire of passion? Ask yourself, what truly makes you feel alive? What makes you forget time? What makes you feel full of power and meaning? Explore, don't be afraid to try new things. Sometimes, your passion is hidden where you least expect it. Act. Passion isn't just a passive emotion. It demands action. Start doing what you love, even if it's just a small part every day. Nurture. Passion is like a fire. You have to constantly fuel it by learning, growing, and connecting with people who share your enthusiasm. If you're in a job you hate, or pursuing a goal you don't truly believe in, change it immediately. You'll not only be far more successful in a field you're passionate about, but you'll also have a much happier, more fulfilling, and far more meaningful life. Don't just exist. Live with a purpose. Live with an unquenchable passion. Let that fire guide you to heights you never dared to dream of. Because when you find and nurture your passion, you don't just change your life, you have the power to change the world. Strategic approaches, positioning for sustainable victory. Listen up, we've discussed the internal elements of success, intuition, the winning mindset, and the fire of passion. But now, let's elevate the game. To truly succeed, to maintain a leading position in a fiercely competitive market, you can't just rely on instinct or willpower. You need a clear strategy, a systematic approach to position yourself and your business. This is where we apply the thinking of Michael Porter. Strategy isn't just about goals, it's about differentiation. Porter taught us that the essence of strategy is choosing to perform activities differently. It's not about doing what others are doing better. It's about doing different things to create unique value for your customers and, more importantly, to establish a competitive position that rivals cannot easily copy. If you keep trying to be the best in the same way everyone else is doing it, you'll get stuck in an endless price war, a war where no one truly wins. Instead, seek a unique position. You can achieve this through cost leadership, becoming the lowest cost provider in the industry, allowing you to offer products/services at lower prices than competitors, attracting a price-sensitive customer segment. Differentiation, creating a unique product or service that offers superior value, for which customers are willing to pay a premium price. This can be about quality, design, customer service, or the overall experience. You have to choose. You can't do both effectively. If you try to be everything to everyone, you'll do nothing well. The power of no. In strategy, deciding what not to do is just as important as deciding what to do. Every strategic choice involves clear trade-offs. You can't serve every market segment, offer every type of product, and have the lowest price. Losers are the ones who try to please everyone, leading to resource dispersion and no clear competitive advantage. Be consistent with your strategic choices. If you've chosen differentiation, never compromise on quality or experience to compete on price. If you choose cost leadership, focus on efficiency and cut out everything unnecessary. Discipline in executing strategy is key. Building sustainable advantage through the value chain. Porter also emphasized the importance of your value chain. Success doesn't come from a single factor, but from the harmonious coordination of all the activities you perform to create your product or service. From procurement of raw materials, production, marketing, sales, to after-sales service, every step must be optimized to support your overall strategy. Competitors can copy a product, but it's very difficult to copy an entire value chain uniquely designed to deliver a competitive advantage. This is where you build strong defensive barriers against competition. In summary, to win the big game, you need a clear strategy. You must position yourself differently, make the necessary trade-offs, and build an unreplicable value chain. This is how you not only succeed but also sustain that success. Executing deals, wielding absolute power. Listen up, everyone. We've talked about the importance of strategy, of positioning yourself smartly. But now it's time we get to the heart of all business success, the ability to execute deals. This isn't just about closing a contract. This is about mastering energy, reading the other side, and steering the game in a direction that benefits you, everyone, and leads to a beneficial outcome for all. Tony Robbins has always said, in life, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. And negotiation, executing deals, that's the action of someone who wields power, someone who understands their value and knows how to get it. Working with the boss, touching real power. This is a golden rule I learned very early on, and it has shaped how I approach every big negotiation. Always try to work directly with the boss. That's right. When possible, go straight to the person with the final decision-making power. Why? Because intermediaries, lower-level managers, they're often limited by rules, by the fear of accountability. They don't have the real authority to say yes to big things, to your groundbreaking ideas. They only have the power to say no, or to delay everything. They're not the ones who will get you to the finish line. Conversely, the boss, the head honcho, they're the ones with vision, with the ability to see the big picture. They're the ones who can cut through all the administrative red tape, all the unnecessary delays. They're the ones who can see the true potential in your proposal and make a quick decision. When you sit across from the boss, the energy of the negotiation changes. There's clarity, directness. You don't have to waste time explaining things over and over through multiple levels. You can present your value directly, powerfully, and get a fast answer. Remember, time is money. Don't waste it on conversations that lead nowhere. Go straight to the center of power. Keeping your word, building an empire of trust. Listen up, this might seem simple, but it's the foundation of every successful business relationship. Once you've reached an agreement with someone, it's critically important to follow through on it to the end. This isn't an option. This is an unyielding principle. If you start breaking promises, if you don't keep your commitments, you'll start building a bad reputation. And once a bad reputation is formed, it'll follow you like a shadow. It will make future deals impossible. In the business world, especially at a high level, everyone knows each other. News travels fast. If you're unreliable, don't keep your word, no one will want to do business with you. You'll be cut out of the game. You'll lose the biggest opportunities, the most valuable relationships. Conversely, when you're someone who keeps their word, when you fulfill every one of your commitments perfectly, you'll build a strong reputation for integrity and trustworthiness. This creates a powerful magnetic pull. People will want to work with you. They'll trust you with bigger, more complex deals. They'll open doors that others can never see. Remember, your word is gold. Your promise is your most valuable asset. Never compromise it. Make commitments, and then act with all your strength and focus to fulfill them. This is how you build an empire, not just with money, but with trust and respect. Don't beg, holding your absolute value. And this is an incredibly important lesson, one that if you don't master, you'll always be at a disadvantage. Never beg when you're trying to sell something. When you beg, you're sending a clear signal: I'm desperate. My value is low. I don't believe in my product or in myself. And you know what? Buyers, especially the wealthy, highly astute ones, will smell that immediately. They see desperation, they see weakness, and that will reflect directly in the price. They'll bargain you down to rock bottom, and you'll accept, just because you're afraid of losing the deal. Here's a harsh truth: if it doesn't work out, if the deal doesn't close, accept that failure calmly and relax. That's right, accept it. Not every deal will succeed. That's the rule of the game. But you will never, ever sell by begging. Instead of begging, focus on the value you bring. Show unshakable confidence in your product, service, or idea. Speak from a position of strength, of self-belief. Customers, especially wealthy ones, they're looking for assurance, confidence. They look at the details. If something's off, they'll see it. And it will affect the price. Believe in your value. Set the price you deserve. And if the other party doesn't accept, be ready to say no and walk away. Sometimes, being willing to walk away is the most powerful negotiation tactic. It shows you have other options, that you're not desperate. It creates scarcity, a pressure that the other party will feel. Remember, you are a winner. You have value. You bring solutions. Never diminish yourself by begging. Act from a position of strength, of value, and you will attract the deals you truly deserve. Dominate this game. Breakthrough thinking, the transformative power of those who dare to dream big. Listen up, everyone. We've talked about strategy, about negotiation, about the burning fire of passion. But now it's time to reach even further, to push past limits that ordinary people never dare to touch. We're going to talk about breakthrough thinking, about how people like Elon Musk see the world, not as it is, but as it could be. This isn't some empty innovation buzzword speech you hear everywhere. No. This is about fundamentally changing how you think, how you approach problems, how you build the future. If you want to break through in your thinking, break through in your success, and transcend all your self-imposed limits, listen closely, because this will change your game. Abandoning old rules, thinking from first principles. Elon Musk never accepts the way things have always been done. He looks at a problem and asks, what does this mean at its most fundamental level? This is first principles thinking. Most people think by analogy. They look at what others have done, what has succeeded, and try to improve it a little. That's incremental improvement. It's fine, but it doesn't create breakthroughs. It doesn't put you on Mars or revolutionize the automotive industry. First principles thinking means you break down a problem into its smallest, indivisible components. Like a physicist or philosopher, you ask, what are the most basic truths about this problem? What is undeniably true, not based on any assumptions or prejudices? For example, when Musk looked at electric car batteries, everyone said batteries were too expensive. He didn't accept that. He didn't ask, how do I make batteries 10% cheaper? He asked, what are batteries made of at a fundamental level? What is the market cost of those raw elements? What's the theoretical minimum cost to create a battery? When you break it down to that level, you realize the cost of a battery isn't $600 per kilowatt hour, it's $80 per kilowatt hour. That's the difference. That's breakthrough thinking. If you're an individual, apply this to your career. Don't just look at what your colleagues are doing. Ask yourself, what are the fundamentals of my job? What core value do I truly provide? Is there a completely different way to do it, without relying on old processes? For entrepreneurs, for businesses, this is the time to break down barriers. Don't accept outdated processes just because that's how it's always been done. Challenge every assumption. Look at your product, service, or process and ask, what fundamental principles govern this? Is there a way to completely eliminate unnecessary elements or create an entirely new solution from the ground up? Dare to dream crazy, accepting no limits. The second thing about breakthrough thinking is to dare to dream things that others call crazy. Elon Musk didn't start SpaceX thinking, I want to make a slightly better rocket. No. He wanted to put humanity on Mars. He didn't build Tesla to make a nicer electric car, he wanted to transition the entire transportation industry to sustainable energy. These are goals that seem impossible to ordinary people. But to someone with breakthrough thinking, those are exciting challenges. They're not limited by what already exists. They're driven by what could exist. If you want to push past your own limits, you have to set goals so big they make you a little scared. Don't be afraid to fail in achieving a great goal, rather than succeeding safely with a small one. For businesses, this means you have to dare to think of solutions no one else has. Don't just try to incrementally improve your current product. Think about solving a big problem in a completely new way, even creating an entirely new market. That requires courage, perseverance, and an unwavering belief in your vision. Embrace failure and learn at high speed. Breakthrough thinking doesn't mean you'll never fail. In fact, you'll fail more than others. But that's part of the process. People with breakthrough thinking don't see failure as an end. They see it as valuable data. Every failure is a lesson, an opportunity to adjust and move forward faster. SpaceX failed many times launching rockets. Millions of dollars went up in smoke. But they didn't quit. They analyzed every mistake, learned from them, and iterated at incredible speed. That's why they succeeded. If you're an individual, don't be afraid to try and fail. See every mistake as an opportunity to learn and get better. Don't let the fear of failure hold you back. For businesses, create a culture where experimentation and rapid failure are encouraged. Don't punish learning mistakes. Learn to gather information from every experiment, successful or not, and apply it to make your next idea stronger. Your speed of learning is your biggest competitive advantage. In short, if you want to truly break through, start by breaking old thinking. Think from first principles. Dare to dream crazy things. And embrace failure as an essential part of learning and growth. This is the only way you'll not just succeed, but also leave a real legacy in this world. Think big, the universal key to unlocking prosperity. Welcome to a grand principle that I have dedicated my life to studying and distilled from the most successful people in history. Now that we've talked about breakthrough thinking, it's time you understand that all great things, every extraordinary achievement, originates from a single place, a thought. That's right, I'm talking about thinking big. Napoleon Hill affirmed an immutable truth: whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. This isn't just a saying. This is a universal law. If you want to achieve great things, you must start by clearly visualizing them and believing absolutely in their ability to be realized. The latent power of thought. Most people fail not because they lack ability or opportunity, but because they lack a clear goal and an intense belief in achieving it. They are limited by small thoughts, fears, and social prejudices. They think great success is only for a lucky few. This is a fatal mistake. You know, I've seen this repeated throughout my life. I've interviewed hundreds, thousands of the most successful people in the world, and one common trait they all possess is the ability to think bigger than those around them. They don't accept conventional limits. They aren't bound by others' definitions of what's possible. If you want to attract wealth, you have to think about wealth. If you want to achieve financial independence, you have to clearly visualize that life. If you want to build $1 million business, you have to see it in your mind before you even lay the first brick. Thought is the starting point of all riches, all success, all great inventions. From burning desire to concrete plan. Thinking big isn't just idle daydreaming. It's the first step in a systematic process, a process I've detailed in my research. Once you have a burning desire for a big goal, remember the power of passion, you must turn that desire into a specific, clear action plan. Napoleon Hill taught us that. Fix in your mind the exact amount of money/goal you desire. Don't say, I want a lot of money. Say, I want $1 million by X day, Y month, Z year. Determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money/goal. Everything has a price. How much effort, time, or what sacrifices are you willing to make? Establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money/goal. Deadlines create necessary pressure for action. Create a clear plan for carrying out your desire, and begin at once, whether you are ready or not, to put this plan into action. Action is the bridge between thought and reality. Write out a clear, concise statement of your goal, deadline, what you will give in return, and your action plan. Read your written statement aloud twice daily, once just before retiring at night, and once immediately after arising in the morning. As you read, see and feel yourself already in possession of the money/goal. This isn't magic. This is how you program your subconscious mind, turning abstract thoughts into concrete plans, and then turning those plans into relentless action. Think bigger than the challenges. For me, thinking big has always been easier. Yes, I've said this many times. It seems paradoxical, but it's true. When you set a small, mediocre goal, you often only attract small resources, small attention, and small problems. Nobody cares about funding some little job that nobody cares about. But when you think big, when you have a grand vision, it creates an irresistible gravitational pull. You attract the most talented people. Great people don't want to work on mediocre projects. They want to be part of big things, things that will change the world. You attract capital and resources. Investors don't want to pour money into small ideas. They want to be part of projects with massive profit potential, things that will make a big impact. You overcome small obstacles more easily. When your vision is big enough, the small daily problems seem insignificant. You don't get bogged down in trivial details. Think about it. Planning a $100 million project doesn't take much more mental energy than planning a $100,000 project. The difference lies in the scale of the thought. When you think big, you expand your capabilities, you raise your standards, and you automatically attract what's necessary to make that vision a reality. Never lower your goals to fit what others think is possible. Elevate your thinking to the level of the great achievements you desire. Visualize victory clearly. Believe in it with all your heart and mind. And then, act relentlessly until it becomes real. Because thought is the only thing that controls your destiny. Market understanding, the smartest player's game. Listen up. The market, it's an amazing thing. It's a genius machine. You might think you're smart, you might think you know everything, but the market is always smarter than you. And if you don't understand it, if you don't respect it, it will crush you. Many startups, many entrepreneurs, they think they have the best idea in the world. They have a product, they have a service, and they just jump in without bothering to find out what the market truly wants or needs. That's a fatal mistake. That's why 90% of new businesses fail. They don't understand the market. The market is the ultimate judge. You can spend millions of dollars developing a product. You can hire the best marketers. You can advertise heavily. But if you price it wrong, if you don't understand the market's buying psychology, it will all go down the drain. I've seen this time and time again. People with good products, but they get stuck because they don't understand the laws of the market. If you price it a little too high, suddenly, nobody buys. You might think your product is pure gold, but if the market doesn't agree, they'll turn their backs. They'll go find something else. It's that simple. They don't care how much effort or money you've put in. They only care about the value they receive compared to the money they spend. And if you go over that limit by even a little bit, they'll disappear. If you price it a little too low, the market will devour it. That's right, they'll rush in like hungry tigers. Your product will sell like hotcakes. But what's the problem? You probably won't make enough profit. You might be destroying yourself by selling too cheap. People will buy, but you won't have the money to grow, to reinvest, to become greater. You'll stay stuck at a mediocre level. The market has no emotions. It doesn't care who you are, how hard you tried. It only reacts to value and price. You have to find the right price. And that's an art, a science. It's not a coin toss. It requires research, observation, and keen insight. Observing the losers. You know, I always observe people. I observe how they work, how they do business, and especially how they fail. Those are the most valuable lessons. I've seen people sell used cars, and they don't even bother to wash the car. A dirty, dusty car. Can you believe it? You only need to spend $10 to clean that car, and you could sell it for $200 more. $200. While only spending $10. And I look at those guys selling dirty cars, and I say to myself, that guy's a loser. Why? Because they don't understand the market. They don't understand that tiny detail, that simple act of washing the car. It's not just about cleanliness. It's about respecting your product, respecting the potential customer, and maximizing value in the eyes of the market. They're too lazy, too short-sighted, too ignorant of human psychology to do such a small thing, and they lose hundreds of dollars. That's why they fail. That's why they'll always be mediocre. The truly rich people, the smart ones, they see those details. When they come to buy something, especially something expensive, they scrutinize every little detail. If something's off, if there's a stain, if there's sloppiness, they'll see it immediately. And it will reflect in the price. They'll bargain you down, or they'll walk away. You can't fool the market. The game of respect. To succeed in the market, you must have respect. Respect for your product, respect for your service, and respect for your customers. Never think you can deceive the market. You can't. The market is an intelligent entity, and it will always find the truth. You must continuously listen to the market. Not by reading dry financial reports, but by feeling it. Feeling the pulse of demand. Feeling the shifts in consumer psychology. Feeling when it's the right time to launch, when it's the right time to adjust prices, and when it's the right time to pull back. This is a game of adaptation. The market doesn't stand still. It's constantly changing. And if you don't change with it, you'll be left behind. So, remember this well, the market is a genius. It has no emotions. It will tell you exactly what you're worth and what your product is worth. Your job is to learn to read its signals. Find the right price. Pay attention to every detail. And always respect the market. Because only then can you truly win and build a great empire. Real estate value, the difference between scrap paper and pure gold. Listen up, everyone. We've talked a lot about making money, about the winning mindset. But now it's time we talk about keeping your money and making your money truly explode. There are many ways to invest out there. People talk about stocks, about securities, about all sorts of papers on the exchange floor. But I'm telling you, nothing compares to real estate. That's right. Real estate beats all those other silly paper securities. I've always said it, and I've proven it time and time again. Stocks? They're just pieces of paper, numbers dancing on a screen, influenced by thousands of factors you can't control. One wrong tweet, one bad financial report, and your money can vanish in a flash. But real estate, that's tangible. You can touch it, you can stand on it, you can build on it. That's real wealth. Location matters. But people matter more. I've always felt that location is important. Everyone says location, 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 and yes, it's important. You want the best location. But I'm telling you an even bigger secret, something that others never truly understand. The people behind the deal are far more important than the location. Listen, I'd rather have a truly smart, talented man or woman doing a deal in a not-so-great location than a fool doing a deal in a fantastic location. Do you know why? Because you'll make money every time. That's right, every time. A smart, talented person will know how to spot potential, how to create value, how to negotiate the best deals, and how to turn an ordinary location into a goldmine. They have that vision, they have that skill, and they have the ability to execute. They can turn mud into gold. But a fool, even in the best location on the planet, they'll mess everything up. They'll overpay, they'll manage poorly, they won't see opportunities, and in the end, they'll lose money. That's the truth. You can't put a fool in a great location and expect something extraordinary to happen. Extraordinary comes from extraordinary people. So, when you're looking for real estate opportunities, don't just look at the map. Don't just look at prime locations. Look at the people. Who's behind this deal? Do they have experience? Are they smart? Do they have the ability to make things happen? That's the deciding factor. The golden location label and the trap of mediocrity. Many people are fooled by the golden location label. They think that just by buying a piece of land in a famous, expensive area, they'll automatically succeed. Wrong. That just makes you overpay, and you still need an excellent strategy to turn it into a profit. A smart person can look at a developing area, an undervalued area with great potential, and they'll jump in before everyone else does. They'll buy at a good price, they'll develop it smartly, and they'll make billions of dollars. That's because they don't just rely on location, they rely on sharp thinking and foresight. I've done that many times. When everyone else is flocking to a certain area, I might already be there, or I'm looking for opportunities in places others haven't seen yet. That's not luck. That's being astute and recognizing people and their true potential. Why real estate is superior. Tangible asset, you can control it. You can improve it. You can create value for it. With stocks, you're just a tiny number in a big company. Cash flow, real estate can generate stable cash flow from rent, which stocks don't always do, except dividends, but that's another story. Leverage, you can use leverage smartly in real estate to amplify your returns. Banks prefer lending for real estate over stocks. Value addition, you can add value to your real estate through renovation, development, or changing its use. You are in control. Don't get bogged down by those silly paper security theories. Seek out real assets, things that can generate profit, and most importantly, seek out great people to work with. Because in the end, no matter how good the location, it's the people who make the difference between a good deal and a legendary deal. Pay attention to detail, the difference between winning and crushing failure. Listen up, everyone. We've talked about big ideas, about massive deals, about making billions of dollars. All of that is very important. But now, I'm going to tell you a secret that truly successful people, the great ones, all understand, and mediocre people never grasp. Success is in the details. That's right. Many people think, oh, I'll just focus on the big picture, let others worry about the little things. Wrong. A fatal mistake. If you overlook the details, you'll pay a heavy price. A very heavy price. Just like a small pin can sink a giant ship, a small overlooked detail can blow up your entire empire. Life and business, it's all in the details. People often say, life is in the details. And I'm telling you, business is too. You can have a brilliant vision, you can be the best negotiator in the world, but if you don't pay attention to the dots, the dashes, the small numbers, the hidden clauses, you will be cheated. You will lose money. You will lose. I've seen so many smart people, truly very smart, but they're too complacent with the details. They sign contracts without reading every line carefully. They blindly trust what others say. And what's the result? They lose millions, even billions of dollars. They go bankrupt. That's because they didn't bother to look at the tiny details that I always take the time to examine. You have to be extremely careful. You have to scrutinize every single bit. Because if you don't pay attention to those details, they will come back to haunt you. They will make you lose money in ways you couldn't imagine. Lessons from the losers, the dirty car. I've talked about the story of the dirty used car. It's a perfect example of not paying attention to detail. You spend $10 to wash the car, you make an extra $200. That's a small detail. But it makes a huge difference. The guy who doesn't wash the car? He's a loser. He doesn't understand that the market looks at every detail. Customers look at cleanliness, care, the respect you show for your product. And that directly affects the price. When extremely wealthy people come to buy something, they don't overlook anything. They are astute individuals. They scrutinize every smallest scratch, every insignificant stain. If something isn't right, even a tiny detail, they will see it. And when they see it, it will reflect directly in the price. They'll bargain it down, or they'll doubt the overall quality. You can't fool them by being sloppy. The difference between good and great. Many people can do a good job. They can do all the basics. But to be great, to stand above all others, you have to delve into the details. That's where you find perfection. That's where you find excellence. When I build a building, I don't just want it to be tall. I want it to be perfect down to the smallest detail. From the flooring materials, to the layout of the rooms, to even the doorknobs. I want everything to be first class. I don't accept mediocrity. And that's why my buildings become icons, become benchmarks. Because they are built with an obsession for detail. Great leaders, top entrepreneurs, they always pay attention to detail. They don't overlook anything. They know that the devil is in the details, but at the same time, opportunity and profit are also in the details. Your world, built from details. If you want to be a winner, you have to change how you look at your work. Don't just look at the final goal. Look at every small step to achieve that goal. Contracts, read every word, every comma. Hire the best lawyers to scrutinize every detail as well. A single word can change the entire meaning of a multi-million-dollar contract. Products, inspect every smallest detail of your product. Material quality, stitching, finish, packaging. Smart customers look at those things. Service, every customer interaction, every phone call, every email. Small service details can make or break a relationship. Finances, check every number, every report. Small errors can lead to huge losses. As Robert, someone I know, likes to say, it's the pinky finger. That's right, it's just a small finger, but it's incredibly important. It's a symbol of how you have to pay attention to every detail, no matter how small. So, change your mindset right now. Become obsessed with details. See every small detail as an opportunity for you to become better, sharper, and more successful. Because when you master the details, you will master the game. And that's how you become a true winner. Never give up, the lighthouse of hope in a stormy sea. Listen up, my brothers and sisters. We've talked about sharp strategies, about the power of big thinking, and about the unquenchable fire of passion. But all of that, no matter how great, will be dust if you lack the noblest human quality, the thing that helped me stand firm through the darkest years: never give up. This world isn't always fair. Life will throw seemingly insurmountable challenges at you, towering walls of injustice and despair. But I'm telling you, perseverance is paramount. Even when facing the cruelest test, when you feel all hope fading, you must stand firm and whisper to yourself, never give up. It is precisely this resilience and extraordinary ability to recover that truly distinguishes those who achieve greatness from those who resign themselves to fate. Lessons from darkness, the power of indomitable will. People ask me, how could I endure 27 years in prison? How could I emerge with a heart unburdened by hatred, but instead filled with a desire for reconciliation? That was not a miracle. That was unrelenting training of the will, an ironclad belief in an ideal greater than myself. Every day, every hour in prison, I could have chosen to surrender, chosen to sink into bitterness and despair. But I chose to persevere. I don't see those years as a waste. They were a great school of patience, of courage, and of the true meaning of freedom. Every locked door, every rejection, every injustice I had to endure only strengthened my resolve. It didn't weaken me, it made me stronger. You will encounter obstacles in your life. There will be times you feel alone, misunderstood, betrayed. There will be people who sow doubt on your path. But I'm telling you, never let the words or actions of others define who you are or limit your vision. Remember, everything that seems impossible can become reality if you have enough faith and perseverance. A liberation movement, a successful business, a meaningful life, it all starts with an idea, nurtured by unwavering persistence through countless difficulties. Change direction, not destination. Perseverance doesn't mean you blindly follow a path proven to be a dead end. No. It means you must be flexible in tactics, but steadfast in purpose. Like a river, it may encounter a large rock, but it will not stop. It will find another way, flowing over, around, or even eroding that rock. You may have to change your plan. You may have to seek new allies. You may have to accept certain compromises. But your ultimate goal, freedom, prosperity, positive change, must not be abandoned. I went through many different phases in my struggle. There were times I believed in armed struggle, times I advocated for negotiation. The tactics changed, but the goal remained the same, a free, just South Africa for all. That is intelligent perseverance. The power of collective belief. And here's one more thing about perseverance: you are never alone. Even in the darkest dungeons, I knew that millions of people outside were fighting, persevering for a common ideal. They were my source of strength. In your journey, seek out like-minded individuals. People who will believe in you when you doubt yourself. People who will lift you up when you stumble. Build a community, a team where belief and resilience are spread. Because when you have a collective belief, your strength will multiply many times over. Never underestimate the power of holding on to faith, not just for yourself but for those around you. When you are resilient, you become a lighthouse for others, a symbol of hope in a stormy sea. The legacy of persistence. This life is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be times you want to stop. There will be times you feel left behind. But those are precisely the moments when your character is tested. Remember, every step forward you take, every difficulty you overcome, is contributing to a larger story. The story of human will, of the ability to rise above adversity. When you persevere, you don't just change your own life, you change the lives of those around you, and perhaps, you will leave a lasting legacy for future generations. So, stand firm. Hold on to your belief. Embrace challenges as opportunities to show your inner strength. And remember, no matter how tough the road, as long as you never give up, ultimate victory will be yours. Persevere, and you will make history.